people are constantly raising the bar.
Sacrifices need to be made.
What would you guys say are your biggest weaknesses?
You are your enemy right now.
Is success a lie?
It's just a fucking podcast.
I think I got this wrong last time. How do I pronounce the European diaspora?
Diaspora.
Diaspora. Okay, sick. Hey guys, welcome to the Student Side Hustle. This week I'm talking to Jason Malone, one of my close friends, a university student, and he runs a social media empire, the European Diaspora. So he runs YouTube, Instagram, and he basically talks about topics that normally we wouldn't really cover on this podcast because it's sort of entrepreneurship, but you really can sort of compare it to that because the topics he does cover a lot of it is sort of, you might think it's very politics sort of stuff, but it is about self-development in a very different way. Like it's focusing on how to better yourself and how to better yourself using the knowledge and the heritage and the culture of your ancestors. Like it's very like different, but yeah, there you go. There's my sort of spiel. But how did you? So I had you on episode 3. I think that was the third podcast ever out, second ever guest. Like it's been a while. I'm like 40 podcasts later. What has happened in the last? Who were you back then? What's happened in the last 6 months, ish, and where are you going in the next year?
Well, a lot has happened in the past 6 months or so. I think when I was last on the podcast, I had about 200, 300 followers on my Instagram. Now I've got nearly 600, and I've started my YouTube channel, which I've been wanting to do for a while, and that's going quite well. I've reached 100 subscribers on that finally, and I've heard that's the first 100 is the hardest.
The milestone.
And so basically now what I'm doing is I'm trying to focus more on my YouTube.
Yeah.
Whereas instead of posting like multiple times a day on Instagram,
yeah,
I'm putting more thought into it rather than just spamming.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to gain heaps of followers at once now because I've got a decent audience, which is still growing, but I'm happy with it where it is now. So I'm focusing more on YouTube. I'm going to start using my Facebook a lot more now as well, sharing posts from other pages, writing longer posts. But my main focus now is YouTube, and I'm trying to grow that and get a good audience on that because I think on YouTube I can talk about things a lot more and a lot more in detail than I could on Instagram. Yeah. And I want to use my YouTube to talk more about the politics and cultural side of things as well, whereas on Instagram it was more about sort of art and
I feel like on YouTube you can sort of be more like it's when I'm typing a caption on Instagram I find it very hard to be me. Like I'm just not a good writer in general, but like I find on YouTube or on a podcast I can just say shit and it just fucking flows.
Yeah, it's more personal.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely more personal. Is that like to sort of for the main reason you're focusing more on YouTube side of things the next year or so? What is the main reason for that?
Because I felt that on Instagram it's been difficult to get my message across. Like a lot of my followers are people who would just see my posts and just like say, "Yep, I agree." Yeah. But I don't want to have like this echo chamber of everyone just agreeing with me. I want people to hear a new opinion, like hear my opinion and be convinced by it. And I can do that better on YouTube because I can explain things and put forward arguments and people can actually see me and it gives it a more personal touch. And so when you're actually seeing someone face to face, you can be more convinced of their arguments and just doing an Instagram post. Yeah, like I definitely found, for me, like I'm still trying to grow my Instagram following, but it's like, it almost feels like you're just shouting into a void there. Like it feels like, I feel like the platform it's a great platform, but it's so hard to be like get actual genuine connections there because you have like 30 seconds of someone's time. Like they're not going to sit down and I find like half the time on Instagram people don't even read the posts. They just look at the picture as they're scrolling through. I mean, I do that. It's because it's like there's very few people on Instagram where I will go and I'll like if I see a paragraph post I'll like read the first line or something. And it's like, especially for me, like that's why I'm trying, like I still want to write those value giving
like paragraph posts, but it's like the thing with those is like it's so hard to make those like easy to read.
Yeah.
And it's like I definitely struggle with making it like I used to I remember when I was in uni. I'm still in uni, but like when I was not on holiday, I would just like be like, okay, it's 3:00, gonna make a post, like,
Yeah.
and I'd just do the whole like schedule thing, and it would just end up being, I would just end up spamming and just trying to like increase the number. But I feel like I want to focus more on the genuine sort of connection side of things.
I found that too. Like it started to become a chore to post so frequently on Instagram.
Yeah.
But now I've got YouTube, and so I can like I can make like a 12-minute video, which is worth like 12 posts in itself. So I feel I don't need to post as frequently, and it's I feel like I'm doing more, but doing less as well.
Yeah,
like,
I feel
at the
like
same time.
Yeah, I definitely feel like doing like when like throwback way to when I was like blogging, like it would take me like 3 hours to write like one shit blog post. Like my blog posts were trash, but now I can record one podcast on a topic. Takes me 20 minutes. I can get most of my main points across. Like if I'm trying to explain something that I think I know a lot about, then I think I can get most of it across. But like, if I try to write a blog post or try to make an Instagram post about it, I feel like I just can't get anything across, and I feel like it takes 3 times the time.
Yeah. Also on YouTube, people can watch your videos while they're doing other things as well. Whereas on Instagram, you have to read the posts. So like the main reason I'm doing YouTube now is so I can start getting my points across a lot more. I've always been planning on starting in YouTube. I wanted a decent audience first on Instagram. Now I've got that. I've got a lot of people from Instagram coming and watching my YouTube, and I've got like there's a like few people who I know like my truest supporters, and they like watch all my stuff and actually read my posts and all that. So I'm like grateful for them and all that.
Like I was watching something yesterday, and they were saying how it's like 2% of your followers are like super followers. Like they'll follow everything you do. They'll listen to every podcast. They'll listen to like they'll watch every video. But then it's like it's only 2%, and it's like I want to figure out how to make. I can't remember what they had, like a whole like funnel design thing, and I don't want to get too like. I never want to be like so like, and obsessed with the followers and except with the number, but yeah, I definitely want to focus on YouTube a lot more this year. Yeah. Just because like with the podcast, it's so like stagnant. Just because I feel like all the traffic is coming from Instagram or coming from YouTube, and it's like. And then I feel like those platforms need to grow, and then the podcast I think should be more of a supplement to that. Yeah.
I agree. Like I most of my YouTube like views and subscribers I'm pretty sure come from Instagram. So I'm gonna like focus most of my efforts on my YouTube, so I can grow that and get a big audience and because I feel like a lot of the successful YouTubers like have they have YouTube as their main platform, and then that feeds their other platforms really well. But then it's hard to make Instagram feed something really well because you're getting 15 seconds of someone's attention. Exactly. And it's just so hard to convert that into listening to an hour podcast. I'm going to try and get my YouTube to overtake my Instagram's follow count. I mean, I don't like being obsessed with followers. Yeah, but like I want my message to get across to as many people as possible for their own sake. Like
literally someone said the other day, they're like it was episode not out yet, but basically they were saying how people can say they don't care about the followers, but it's fucking important. Like that's what we want people to hear what we're saying.
Like I mean, I don't care about it for like a narcissistic,
like egotistical reason. It's not gonna boost the ego, but it's like there's a point to the followers. Like
exactly. I don't want to be talking to nothing.
Like if I knew for the rest of the time there was gonna be 0 followers, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, one, you can never monetize it, which is one reason a lot of people want to do it. And then it's like that you can transition that into a career, and you can transition that into side income. Yeah. Then it's like that's just one reason for the followers. But then another one is like if you have a lot of followers, you can actually make a difference, and you can see the difference.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like when you first start, it feels like you're just like trying to break down a brick wall with a rubber hammer. It's like exactly. And it's just very, very pointless. But it's like would you ever consider doing things like? Because I know a lot of your things it's about topics, it's about stuff like, I don't even know, like the culture, history, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Would you consider doing things like very personal stuff? Like stuff about this is how I do X, this is how I do X?
Yeah, I would do that if enough of my viewers wanted that sort of thing. Like, my channel and my social media isn't about me.
Yeah.
But if people want to, like,
Yeah.
get to know me, basically, I mean, I'm
If they're,
fine
like,
with
intrigued
that.
about your lifestyle sort of thing.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when I get a larger audience, I'll probably get people asking about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I guess I could do the occasional video, but I don't want to, like, make it all about myself.
Yeah, I feel like mine is a very, like, personal thing, because it's, like, the beginning idea was, look at my transformation. Like, that's the general, like, that was the crux of it to start with, and now it's gone completely different direction, but I'm glad I've moved a little bit away from, you know, like, Walsham Weekly. It was too...
Yeah.
I feel like these university holidays, they've been very useful to me, because I've, like, figured out where to take stuff, and it's been a whole, like there was one rebranding, and then just, like, figuring out that I want to focus on YouTube and, like, shit like that. Like, have you noticed over these holidays that it's just been a lot of time to, like, figure shit out and, like, just step back?
Yeah, I found that. I mean, like, my YouTube really kicked off once uni finished.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been good, and now I've got a whole thing to focus on for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's like, and now it's like, and I feel like with a YouTube, you can really pump out videos. Like, at times you can sacrifice quality with, like, editing or other shit like that, or even just to actually keep it going, and, like, like, you can, like, if you're going to, like, if you're trying to run on Instagram, trying to build an Instagram, you want to be posting, like, whatever, like, 2 times a day or some shit, and then it's like, if you drop it down to, like, I noticed if I drop my posts down to, like, 0, say if I'm, like, when we went to Layla's, like, when we go, like, out somewhere to a party, or when I go, like, when I went to Soundsplash, like, I barely posted, like, that's the time when my followers I'll actually see a dip in followers. Like, people will just unfollow.
I used to find that, but now I feel I can leave things for a few days, and
without,
it'll still
like,
be, like, a steady.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just, I will see no growth if I'm not posting. And I feel like that's why I need some organic platform like YouTube. Yeah. So I feel like it just grows and grows.
I find it's easier to actually make a YouTube video than some of the Instagram posts I do, because like...
Yeah, because your posts are like, it's like literally like a written essay, and it's like, you need to do your research, and you need to like figure out and plan out what you're talking about, and it's like, it's, and like the thing with like posts like that is it's like, it's still Instagram, and it's so hard to get like more than 15 seconds of someone's attention. Yeah. And that's why I like, with YouTube, like they know, like they see 10 minutes on the video, like they're probably gonna stick around for 10 minutes hopefully. Yeah. Or they'll like leave after a minute, but it's like, they know what they're getting into. Exactly. And I feel like with Instagram, everyone else is just like, hey, summer, smiley face, and then like...
I mean, that's like what Instagram was made for. Yeah. Really. Yeah. Just like quick posts. Yeah. The focus is on the picture. And I mean, like with my Instagram posts, it sometimes can take me like half an hour to find a decent painting, because I like to have a good aesthetic. Yeah. So I like to find like a related piece of artwork or something. Yeah. And that can take ages sometimes. Yeah. And so it's actually a lot more work than it seems to.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
Instagram.
And then people like, they see the one post and they think, oh, that took 20 seconds. But it's like, they don't see one, the paragraph writing, like two, the fucking actual research that goes into it, three, finding the picture. And it's like for me, now I'm trying to like, because for me, it's like, I can just take a picture of myself at the gym and I can generally use that as content. Yeah. And it's like, you can just chuck a caption behind that and try and bring some value that way. But like, I feel like for you cannot just take a picture of your random every day, because like, you don't have classical artwork like just around your house. It's like,
and like my thing is like less about me and more about my ideas as well. And so the picture of me isn't really gonna convey my ideas as well as a painting or something. Yeah.
How have you found like socially wise? Because I know for me, I've had a few people like take the piss and like, and be like, haha, podcast, like, you know, all that shit. Like, because I feel like everyone's going to get a little bit of that. Have you found much like not social backlash, but like sensed people like having a joke about it and having a laugh about it?
Occasionally, but most of the time it's just banter.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's never like, I haven't had too many people like have like insults, like I've never had, but it's been like haha.
And I mean, like, I take the piss out of myself as well. Yeah. like most of the feedback I get is just like respect and like, oh, well done, that's cool, and that sort of thing. I don't like. I expected a lot more piss taking and backlash, but it's actually fine. Yeah,
because I swear, like, the actual fear of backlash is actually way worse than the actual backlash. Like for like I've had like minor things, but it's never like anything where I've like anything huge. Like literally, like that fucking joke Instagram like Layla made. Yeah. Like literally, like I feel like it's good to have stuff like that. Like not actually a joke Instagram. Like but it's like. It's good to have stuff where you can just make fun of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to be too serious. Yeah. But you don't want to make fun of yourself too much, otherwise your whole thing just becomes a joke.
Yeah, and then it's like it's just like the fuck is the point?
I feel like one day though I'm gonna make like a video or a post or something that's just gonna be like super controversial.
Yeah, and then it's like
I'll like lose friends over it and all that. But I mean like if
you know what you do in that situation?
What?
Like if you had like say for instance there was a certain political topic that your friends were very politically charged on and they had a lot of opinions on, and then you made a video opposite opinion, and then they basically were like completely just thrown like completely just off the wheels over it, and then they just not happy at all. Do you know what you would do in that situation?
I think I'd just like I'd defend myself and my views.
I feel like it shouldn't even be about the views, because like we were talking before about how certain people that we have relationships in our lives, like we have differing views. Yeah. But it's not like a key point. It's like
I feel like if it matters so much to someone that they don't want to be my friend anymore, I don't want to be that person's friend in the first place. Yeah. You know?
Like I feel like if someone is that easily just going to be like, okay, fuck this friendship, like.
And like I've seen YouTubers who make like similar content to mine, and they've talked about like they've been getting a lot of backlash. Like they've lost all their friends and that sort of thing. And like I'm prepared for that. Yeah. Like if it's gonna happen one day, then it is what it is. Yeah. And I'm not gonna just like be fake and
just say like
maintain some like friendships with people who like I don't want to maintain conditional friendships when I feel like my ideas are more important. Like I'm a bit of a fanatic when it comes to my ideas. And so I'm not gonna
like it's very
sacrifice
like
my integrity
diverse ideas to like mainstream people, because I don't want to say mainstream, I sound like a fucking hipster, but like you know what I mean, like people who don't actually look into it and actually figure out what their actual thought out opinions are. And it's like
I feel a lot of the time like people's like political and social and cultural views haven't had much thought into it. I don't want to like sound like I'm like
I am this fucking genius.
I don't like sound like I'm a genius or something who's like better than everyone because I'm like smarter or anything like that. But like a lot of views are based on not really that much. Yeah.
And it's literally like I remember when I was a kid, I was so like that. Like I would fucking all my like worldviews were based on what everyone else thought around me.
Yeah, same.
And then literally I would think like, okay, what does everyone else think about this? Like, literally, like, I don't have any stance on abortion now. I know shit all about it. It's a pretty touchy subject. But like, literally back then, what I would have done is I'd fucking like look at what the mainstream people think. Yeah. Without forming any opinion about it myself.
Yeah, I used to find that I'd like, if there was something I didn't really have an opinion on, I'd like go on Reddit or just Google something and then like try to find what the general consensus is among all those people and then like conform to it. Yeah. But I didn't notice I was doing that while I was doing it, but then like I'd look back on myself and be like, oh, I used to do this. And like I didn't have any opinions which were really my own. It was more just me trying to please this invisible entity. Which
and I feel like it's like I feel like definitely since I've started this, I've been okay with like being like literally just from like posting on my normal Instagram, like my public Instagram, I found like it's easier to give less fucks and like to like now if I have a differing opinion, it's kind of like who cares? Because it's like in the end of the day, it doesn't matter if someone actually cares about it. Then it's like
like I'll happily debate like anyone. Like I'm not afraid. I don't I'm not afraid of like getting my views out there. I won't hide anything.
Yeah.
Like if someone wants to debate me, I'll debate them. But I mean, if they're gonna get all angry and just
and just take it like, because I feel like with arguments, like you can either have the argument and have facts about the argument, and both consider each other's argument with an open mind, or you can be like, no, fuck your point, you're a cunt. Like you can end up like just turning into personal shit real fast.
I feel like a lot of the time, like when it comes to politics and that sort of thing, people take things like way too personally.
Yeah.
Like
people are just so dug into their beliefs that it's like,
exactly.
You're insulting me, like, whoa, and there's like
they have a similar reaction to if they were actually being attacked physically. And like, I mean, that's a problem. So if someone's going to be like that when I'm just making videos about my views, and, you know, screw them. Yeah,
it's like, fuck that shit. It's like, I find like right now I literally have no like political views, and it's like, it's because like I just don't care enough to have one. I'd like to have some, but it's like, right now, like the mainstream consensus, I literally don't even know what right wing, left wing means. It's like, but it's like the mainstream consensus is like, oh, fuck Trump, etc. Like I feel like, but the majority of those people, like I don't have a stance on Trump. I literally don't care. But it's like the majority of those people are like, oh, he's racist. Like they just see the mainstream media's like fucking opinions on it, and what mainstream media is doing. This sounds so like Alex Jones, but I hate when I say mainstream media. So like I hate that fucking word, but there's no other word. It's like what they're doing is they're appealing to like the middle-aged people who've had that view for 50 years. It's like like that guy I had on this morning, how his views on steroids are like they're not that bad, like, and he has all these original views that he's made himself, and a lot of people don't like steroids. I get it, but it's like now, like after talking to him, I have a much more like thought out opinion on steroids. And instead of like the like very easy to do like, oh, steroids are blanket statement, steroids are bad, etc. Like, but it's like I feel like it's harder to have an original opinion, but it's much more fulfilling.
I mean, like when it comes to politics, I don't like to put myself on the right or the left, but other people would probably put me like quite far right. But I see a lot of people on the far right, particularly the alt-right types.
Can you explain what that is?
The alt-right?
Yeah, is that like...
it's kind of like, so you have like the
would that be heading towards like the sort of Trump? Is Trump right?
Yeah. So like you got the mainstream right, which is like, I mean, like economic liberalism and that sort of thing. Like people like Bill English in New Zealand. But then you have what they've called themselves the alt-right, and they're like people who have right-wing views, but like they are also opposing the mainstream right. Like the name came out of the US election. I mean, I don't identify with it.
Would Trump be alt-right?
His supporters call themselves alt-right. But the thing is, I see a lot of people on the right just like going and attacking the left. But like
the left, like people. There's a word that I want to use, but I don't think I should use it because I don't think it's.
What is it?
No, it's literally. I was going to say a certain community. I'll spell it out for you without saying it.
I don't know what you're saying. Oh yeah. They would be like people who, their economic views are that people should be more economically equal.
Like,
it's like they want to close the gap between the rich and the poor, but also their social views are quite liberal.
So many jokes.
Their social views are quite liberal as well. But I see a lot of people on the right attacking people on the left. Or like even attacking like the invisible leftists. Like they'll make a post or something like attacking leftist values, but
and just like doing like a blanket statement of the stereotypical either side.
But I mean, I don't think that's going to get anywhere. And so what I want to do, like with my thing, is I want people on the left, like people who oppose my views. I want them to watch my videos.
And like put their thought out
Yeah,
opinions.
I don't want my main audience to be people on the right, even though
because then it's like
now.
it's just like I find a lot with like feedback on videos. It's like I liked how when I asked you this morning, I asked you like, oh, what do you think of my vlog? Did you think it was shit? And you gave me some good feedback. And then it's like the thing with producing content and asking your friends is like a lot of them are going to be like, oh yes, it's amazing, oh my god.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get genuine like, oh, I hated this bit. This bit was boring as shit. I fast forwarded through this bit. I
do get like actual feedback from a few people.
Like would that be people like that are mainly following you for the content or mainly like friends? It's like
I've got it from friends. Got feedback from a few of like I talked about before, like my main supporters and all them. And so that's been good. But like I want people to be harsh, and like I want people with opposing views to come and argue with me, basically.
Yeah.
Not only so I can like convince them of my views, but also test myself.
Yeah, and
I
like
don't want to live in an echo chamber.
Yeah, because it's like, I feel like it's easy to get lost in like, oh, I have this view, and then everyone around you is saying yes, and then you at the end, like 2 months later, you're like, oh wait, why do I have this view again? And then it's like, yeah.
I also find that like, because most of my friends are like liberal or leftist or something.
Yeah. Is that the
like,
general like sort of
like mainstream political views? And so like, I oppose mainstream politics. Just like my views oppose like all mainstream politics, but it's nice like talking to them and just like hearing what they have to say and all that.
And because I feel like if they like your friends aren't going to be like fuck you cunt like in the middle of the in the middle of the conversation, they're not just going to be like.
It also like helps me understand myself more.
Yeah.
And how other people are thinking, and helps me to come up with better arguments as well. But like people who live in this echo chamber where they've got their views, and they're only engaging in discussion with people with their views, they're not gonna grow like intellectually.
Yeah, and it's like, because it's like, for example, if you say blanket statement steroids are bad, and then you only consume content that is people saying steroids are bad, you're never going to actually have your own opinion on steroids.
Exactly.
Or, like, it's like, like what the thing with getting feedback though is I found when I asked for feedback, when I was doing my rebranding and I was asking for all these different things, I was asking like, oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And I was doing all the polls of my like cover photo or like the podcast art.
Yeah.
And then the thing with that was I was getting like 18 different opinions all going in completely different directions.
Right.
And I just said erections, all different directions. And then like the thing with that was I didn't know where to go from that point because it was all like, oh, I want thin text, I want thick text.
Yeah. I think with a lot of like some of the time you just need to like make decisions yourself. Yeah. And not take other people's and just be like opinions into account.
Not go from like what the general consensus is.
Like I'm starting another history series on my Instagram soon. Yeah. And I asked all my followers like particular topics they want to see, and I got heaps of suggestions, but I could have like put all those suggestions to a vote. Yeah. But I just picked 2 of them because like I knew that if I'd done a vote of it, it just would have been like it would have been messy and confusing, and so I thought it was just best to make decisions and pick 2. So like when it comes to that sort of thing, I think you need to make decisions, but it's good to hear feedback. Yeah, because I feel like it's good to make decisions from the creator's point of view, because it's like the people like say when you did, because I did see that vote, and then I think I voted Rome, was it Rome and something else, and then like from my point of view, I'm just a content consumer, and I don't see the logistics of what there actually is to talk about. I just think, oh, cool, Gladiators Rome. Exactly. Like I wouldn't have picked Rome as one of the 2 options if I didn't think it would have worked. As a series. Yeah. And it's like with the podcast, like art, it was easy for me to visualize. Like, okay, this is going to be used on a tiny little picture. Yeah. But then other people are just thinking of it as a whole, as an image. And that was hard to sort of translate into the consumer. It's like, and how it actually works. Like what I would have done with that is I would have like made a bunch, then picked my 2 favorite, and then put those 2 to vote. Yeah. Like you need to take other feedback. Yeah. You need to make your own decisions ultimately. Yeah. I found like I did make like literally like probably like 5, 6, 7, 8 revisions.
And I do think I ended up with something I'm very happy with.
Mm.
And I do think the feedback was crucial to that, but I feel like once I've got some feedback and like given like general directions, not like specific, I feel like for a general direction, I feel like feedback from the masses is good.
Yeah.
But like once it gets down to like the specific details, like, oh, do you want this grey or this grey? Do you want a gradient or no gradient? Like,
you're just getting too picky with that.
Yeah, it's too personal. Like, there's so many people saying.
I mean, like if you just put one up, people are gonna like it.
Yeah, it's like people, and no one's gonna even notice the.
Yeah.
Like if you do a specific grey or a specific piece of text, like most people won't notice unless they're like a graphic design or some shit. It's like most people literally don't care, and it's like. Yeah.
If we link this back to like what we were talking about with politics earlier, like taking feedback from other people, like if you hear other people's opinions, I think like a lot of the time people hear something, and then just like they don't make their own decisions. They just like hear other people's things too much, and then they either get confused or conform. And so like what I do is I'll hear other opinions. If there's something I'm not sure on, I will like look at the alternative, like all the different like views on that, and like I'll meditate on it, or I'll like lie in bed for
and just,
hours
like,
trying to sleep thinking about it. Yeah.
Instead of just like thinking, okay, I know this person is generally my political view. What do they think on it? Okay, let's conform to that. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Like.
I feel like it's very easy just to do whatever you think your group is doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a lot of people on the right who I feel like are just conforming to what other right-wing people are doing. Like they have like their own views, which is why they identify with the right. But then they're like just, and I mean I used to do that. And I find a lot of people do that, but like now I like try not to. And I mean I'm guilty of it sometimes. I think everyone is.
Yeah, it's hard not to like conform to some views.
Exactly.
Like for a lot of political things, like I'll hear. Like, when the elections were going on, a lot of my views, I was like, okay, I have no fucking clue. And I just look at my friends and see, okay, I trust them with most of these things. And I'd be like, okay, what do they think? Okay. And then I just gauge it from that. And then it's like, but it's hard to be like, especially when it comes to politics, because, like, some people are very invested in politics. Some people know, like, nothing. Like, for me, it's like, this year for politics, I cared a little, but it's like the only thing I was sort of putting a frame of reference on it was investing, because that's like the only way I could see it like tangibly affecting me. So then I just like picked whatever I thought would be best for my investments, and it's like it's hard to look at it through that lens and then through like a moral lens, because I feel like the people I was picking for my investments were my morals were going in the opposite way. And then it's like
I find that's difficult too, like especially when it comes to economics, because like a lot of the time you have to choose between a good economy or like the
morals.
Moral path.
The Jedi way, like
you
gotta pick like
And so that's where I think like having your own opinions is important, because if you just like copy what other people think, then you're likely to have the wrong opinion on it.
Because I feel like, especially if we go just in New Zealand, like I feel like our demographic, the teenage like university students, general opinion was they either like strong Labour because X views and usually like moral views about like equality, stuff like that, like just from what I saw. And then I feel like the National was generally like the older aged population.
I feel like there's a bit of a hive mind in both demographics. Like you've got all the National supporters who just they do it because all their peers do it. Because
I definitely think like
the same with Labour.
Oh fuck yeah! Like with Labour, it was just a storm of social media people saying, "Oh, let's all like." Everyone's just posting either statuses against National or statuses for Labour because of X issue, and they'll say, I think it was something like, I don't want to get too politically charged here, but like, I think it was something like abortion or something like that, where Labour was doing obviously the right thing in the long term, and then, but then people would post statuses just about that, and they wouldn't consider and it would be. Like, then it would just become this, like, effect of every teenage person and every teenage, like, mainstream person saying, okay, pick Labour because X. But then I felt like it was sort of just a tsunami of, like, people just caving to that view. without considering it.
Political parties, they do like target demographics.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious.
At Jacinda.
Yeah. Like they do it because they know that that if they get like one demographic on their side, then most of that demographic will follow.
Yeah.
Because they're just like trying to fit in with their peers.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone does it. It's like a natural human thing to do that you want to.
Yeah, like everyone wants to.
We're tribal people. We're social beings, and we like to.
Well, we don't want to be the weirdo, but it's
yeah.
like, I feel like being the weirdo isn't actually that bad.
No.
Like I feel like now we're trying to go more towards being like the different person, and doing like things that are seen as weird. Like now, like literally none of our peers are doing shit like posting on YouTube, because it's like, and definitely not like sharing it publicly if they do it, because it's like. Everyone that I've talked to about wanting to do something on YouTube or wanting to do something there, it's like they're all like, no, I'll never share it on my social media.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's almost like embarrassing. Cause it's like you're putting yourself in a vulnerable state.
I felt like that embarrassment when I started, but like once you get used to it, it's like
you definitely get used to it.
Yeah.
Like
you realize that no one actually gives a shit.
Yeah, and like people get like literally, I feel like people give a shit for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they see that you're gonna do it for like more than 2 weeks, and it's like okay,
exactly,
cool. I'm done trying to take the piss. I'm over. Like,
yeah. If we go back to what I was saying earlier about like listening to other opinions, I do find that it's quite important especially when you're doing like politics or culture or that sort of thing that I'm doing, because you can actually find allies in strange places. Yeah. I mean, you need allies if you're doing political stuff, as much as I hate the fact that you do. Yeah. Because you need allies like, and compromises.
It is a vote, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like, I found that even though I'm like, I'm not a feminist at all. Yeah. But like, I can find allies among feminists. Yeah. With like certain views, not all of them. Yeah. But things like, I don't want to get too political, but.
Yeah. Too like. Specific.
I will anyway. Yeah. So, things like the objectification of women and that sort of thing. Yeah. Feminists hate that. Yeah. But I also hate that because I mean I'm a traditionalist.
I feel like it's derogatory to everyone in the relationship because it's like.
And so like you've got
the boy is just. Yeah. Won't get
you've got like women being shown as like sex objects basically. Yeah. And that's something that feminists oppose. But as a traditionalist, I also oppose it because, I mean, to me, women are like the nobler sex and they deserve a lot of respect and dignity, and they're much more than just sex objects.
Yeah, because I definitely get like the feminist perspective. Like, I don't know shit about feminism. Like, I'm a white male, like, you know, like.
I can sympathize with some of their things. Like, sometimes you have to look at their, like, their intentions rather than their means, and so like feminists, they just want the best for women. Yeah. So do I. Yeah. We just have different ways of going about it and different views on it. Yeah. And I mean, I find that with a lot of things, not just when it comes to women. Yeah.
Because I feel it's like a lot of people put this like blanket label on feminism as well as like as this like they always make these jokes. It's like the guys on the internet they're like. Oh, feminism, But it's like, when you actually look into it, they do have a point. And when you look past it, they're like, I guess, angry mob. Like, when you look past that, like, yeah, sure, some things that they do are a bit out there. But what they're doing is they're trying to shed light on a topic. Yeah. And it's like, it's literally what everyone's trying to do. Everyone's just trying to shed light on something that they think is important. Like, for me, I'm just trying to shed light on student side hustles. Like, I reckon everyone needs a side hustle, and that's like what I'm trying to shed light on. And it's like, I don't know, but yeah.
And it's like you've got people who like recognize, for example, that like women are disadvantaged in society. Yeah. If that's the word you want to use, but so you've got like a young woman who feels that there's something wrong with how women are. Yeah. Like portrayed and treated and stuff in society.
I can't even imagine how that feels because it's like I've never had to go through that, and like I feel like I have to approach that with.
I mean, we're not women, so
yeah. Like if I go at that with a point of view, like what I'm not disadvantaged though. It's like I've never had that feeling of starting off the game of life with a disadvantage. Yeah, and it's like even if it is real or just perceived, I'm not sure. I have no clue. I haven't done my research. It's like, if they feel like that, they're gonna be mad, and like I'd be mad too.
And so then they turn to like a ideology or something that will promise them like enlightenment or whatever. And so that's feminism for young women.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the things I want to do with my YouTube, but I haven't really touched on like women's issues yet on my YouTube. But one of the things I want to do is create an alternative ideology for people who might turn to like feminism or something.
Yeah.
But then they could see mine and be like, oh, he's actually got some good points too. And then go
and
for my
mixes. It's like
yeah.
Like I feel like the thing. Yeah, I was gonna say how if I was a girl, I'd be a feminist.
Yeah.
Because it's like, as a dude, I am trying to, especially in the last few years, I've been trying to. Like literally just yesterday, if you saw my vlog, I had some podcast guests turned up late. They were like 40 minutes late. I sent them a text. They turned up anyway, and then they called me, and I was like, sorry, no. And I've been trying to take that hard stance of not letting anyone do anything that like I don't think some of my idols would be okay with. Like if I've got to hold myself to that standard, and I feel like as a feminist, you're holding yourself to a higher standard. Like not letting.
I mean, they have like ideals and something they're going for, which is good.
Yeah, and they're like, I feel like as a it's hard to be a feminist as a girl because boys are scared by it. Like a lot of them are like, oh my god, she's a feminist, haha. Like, but they don't look at it from like, okay, she's trying to, like, I don't know shit about like.
Yeah.
I know the word I want to say is the wage gap. Like I don't know shit about that, or like the the actual dollar wage gap, or just the perceived skill wage gap. Like, but I feel like a lot of them are just trying to make that equal, and just even going out of their way and doing what might be a disadvantage to them socially. Like saying.
I mean, I'm doing pretty much the same thing, just with different views.
Yeah, and it's like they're just trying to do shit to make their demographic have a more even chance.
And like what you were saying before about like if you're a woman you'd be a feminist, like I agree. If I was a woman I'd probably be a feminist,
because that shit would be fucking empowering. Like
and I mean that's like the mainstream thing. So what I want, I mean I'm a traditionalist, but I mean we've not got enough time there for me to go over all of what that means, but basically traditionalism and feminism, they don't go well together. But I don't see traditionalism as bad for women. Like I've seen lots of women on social media and like YouTube and stuff who they're also traditionalists, and they embrace like traditional femininity and stuff. And there's like YouTubers I know who talk about that, and they're like fantastic. And I want that. Like I want more women to see that, not because I want to oppress them or anything. But because I think that that's better for women. Because when I look at like the state of women today and what feminism is doing, I think of that as like not good.
What do you mean?
Like, so if we go back to objectification of women, it seems that feminists like to embrace the objectification, and instead of having men objectify them, they objectify themselves. If you know what I mean?
I sort of do.
Empowering themselves. But
like
the way I want to fight the objectification
is that stuff like free the nipple, like
that sort of thing.
Like being, like, I see where that's coming from, because it's kind of just being like, okay, if it's being used as a tool for marketing, like boobs are used for marketing. It's like, I see why they'd want to just destigmatize it
And so what me and like other traditionalists want is for women to, I mean men as well, because men are objectified as well, but I'm just talking about women here. Women to just be more modest and don't sexualize themselves. And if it's not normal to sexualize women, then the rest of society won't do it. I mean, if you're only objectifying yourself to your partner, then the rest of society is not going to do that. Like, it's not, you're not going to sell much products if you've got a woman up on a billboard just like dressed all modestly and
if you're trying to sell like a not product that could use
your body around.
sexual marketing. Like like fucking men's cologne, like that shit.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like maybe a dude in a tux, but like even that in itself is like sexual because it's like it's like classy. It's like women find a powerful man attractive. It's like it's kind of a similar thing, but it's not using their genitals to like as marketing.
With women, like a lot of feminists today tell women they should like just live life and go out and be promiscuous and engage in casual sex all the time. But when the way I see that, I mean, it's not like I'm trying to claim all women for myself. I mean, like I have a girlfriend and that's enough for me. Yeah. But all these young women, they go out and have sex with random people just for pleasure. Yeah. And I mean, that's like they're getting pleasure from it, and like it might be empowering. But those men, and the men that also engage in that behavior, are seeing women purely for having sex, because that's all they're doing with them. Personally,
like, my opinion on that is, when it comes to people like going out to the clubs, like just having sex with random people, like I get it, I get why they do that, but it has, from my point of view, it has to come from a place of complete security, and it's literally just fun. It has to come from, it cannot be to fill a hole. If it comes to fill a hole of insecurity, then it's detrimental to your health, whether you're a male or a female, it doesn't matter. Like, if you just got out of a bad relationship and then you're trying to fill that hole by going on other dates with another person, it's like, it's the exact same thing. It's just trying to fix a hole with something that is addictive inherently. Like, it's something that you can just do again and again and again, and it is like, I see why people do it, but it's like, if it's coming from a place of complete emotional security, then I personally don't see an issue with it. Yeah. Like, I would say it's not the safest thing, like STI wise and fucking like, you know, with like males at strip club, not males at fucking, like males at clubs. Yeah. It's like, it's not the safest thing physically, but like if you're doing it in a safe way, I personally don't have an issue with it, because it's like, if it makes you feel good and it makes you, and you have fun doing it and you're not going to regret it in 10 years, then I personally see no issue with it. The problem comes when it's like to fill a hole or to fix an insecurity that you, and like it's for men and women, because I know so many dudes that like just try and get with girls to fix their own insecurities. Yeah. And like, it has to come, like, once it comes from a place of pure security from both people in the relationship, whatever, like, then it's just beneficial for everyone. Yeah. Because no one's losing, no one's getting hurt in the process, no one's being physically or emotionally harmed, and you can both look back on it in 10 years and be like, cool, that was fun, haha. Like, like pretty, not usually the topics we normally cover on this podcast, but I feel like it's good to touch on these things.
I mean, the way I see it, like, I have nothing against men and women just like having fun, and enjoying life. But I like looking at it from like a wider society perspective. Yeah. And so when it comes to like going to clubs and just hooking up with people randomly, even if you are like completely secure and you're just doing it for fun, I feel like that. So if women go out and do that, then men, they can get easy sex, but that will mean that women are sexualized, and so as long as women keep doing that, then men are going to keep sexualizing them, because men don't have to do anything else, and they don't have
to work for it and like make it actually have value.
Whereas like if women don't go out hooking up with people, even if it is completely secure and just for fun, then men will have to like date them and respect them and be nice to them and see them as a person, and like get to know their personality, whole object,
and like they'd see like the whole package. Not
they look past their body and like see their soul and everything.
Yeah, like it sounds emotional as fuck,
then
but
they
it's
get
like
the sex.
Yeah, and that's just like, it almost comes as like the bonus. It comes as
exactly
like we're like 20-year-olds, like 18, 19, like talking about this shit, but there's like, I feel like it's important to have a like well-rounded perspective on it, because there's so many dudes that like don't see it as a full package, and they'll openly say they don't see it as a full package, and I think it's detrimental for them and detrimental for the woman.
I mean, I feel like as long as people are going out and hooking up, then women are going to be sexualized, and like, I don't want my daughters to grow up in a society where they feel that they have to sexualize themselves to
Yeah.
fit in and
Yeah.
to like make guys like them.
Mm.
I want my daughters to find boys and men who like them for who they are as people,
Yeah.
not what they have under their clothes. You know.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the issue is with men. Like a lot of the attraction comes from not from looks at all. Like looks are just a bonus. If they're there, cool. But it comes from confidence. It comes from all these things that people look at highly. But then, for a lot of dudes, the attraction comes from purely physical aspects.
Yeah.
And there's no level of, like, a lot of dudes don't see the level of the confidence that the woman has, or the productivity, like
Yeah.
like that kind of shit, like stuff they're doing that they're making a difference with, and like the
I
emotion
think
they
that's
have in the stuff they do.
that
Yeah.
needs to be resolved, and I
Yeah.
don't think feminism will resolve that issue if it teaches women to go out and just have fun, you know.
Yeah, I don't know shit about feminism, so it's like
Yeah.
I can't really.
I mean,
comment with it.
same for guys as well. Like, I don't want my sons to grow up in a society where they feel like they have to just go out and bang
Yeah, and
random
like-
women to be cool, you know.
Yeah, like I feel like there's so many dudes that are so pressured
Yeah.
to like go out and be the like player, but
Yeah.
it's like
I
'cause
want
it's like
my sons to grow up
and
I
want to
them
like
have to,
and like look at
work
a
for
like
it.
hard loving relationship
Yeah.
where it's very supporting. I want them to look at that and be like, wow,
Yeah.
fuck, I want that. Like,
I don't want them to just go out and like have random sex. I
Yeah.
want them to like find a woman and get to know a woman
yeah,
before they
Yeah.
they get to have sex with her. They can't
Yeah.
just go out and, you know,
yeah,
bang someone.
yeah. It's because it's just sort of like, yeah, but yeah, gang.
That's
Hmm.
basically my view on feminism.
So where did we start? Productivity in YouTube. That was, yeah.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I said before that you can find allies in strange places, strange bedfellows.
Yeah.
And so like I can find allies with feminists with sort of thing like that, where they don't want women objectified and all that.
Yeah, and it's weird to like, because I feel like with politics, people put themselves in such boxes
Yeah.
that it's like, I'm glad you can see the like cross, what do you call it, genre?
Yeah.
Cross like party
Yeah.
demographic,
Cross partisan.
cross partisan like views, and not just see it as like
Yeah.
X versus X versus X versus X, like
Yeah. Like I want feminists to like listen to this and hear
Yeah.
my views on it. And I want to like be able to talk with feminists, like say, okay, what's the issue we want to both solve? Is like the
Yeah.
sexualization of women.
Yeah.
And then like talk about how we can like do that. Like traditionalists and feminists, like
Yeah.
they're natural enemies. But I feel like we can like come together and sort of be allies with certain issues, like
Yeah.
the one I've just talked about.
yeah,
And that's what I like with my YouTube. If we go back to where we were at the beginning, that's what
Yeah.
I want to do with my YouTube. I want to
Yeah.
have more discussion that you can't just have with a short Instagram post.
yeah.
Like,
Because I feel like that it's very like with
Yeah.
an Instagram post, it's very one-sided. It's like, hey, here's my point of view, and it's hard to like
yeah,
have the comments be a major like point. of
yeah,
it.
like you
It's
can't have a proper like discussion on Instagram.
Yeah, like, and if you do, it's going to be very public. It's like, I feel like with YouTube, one thing that I think would be interesting for you to do is collab with someone who's the complete opposite demographic.
Yeah, when I have a bigger audience, I might do
Yeah.
that. Just have like debates and
Yeah,
things.
because I feel like it'd be hard to find
Yeah.
someone who's like small and taking it seriously.
Yeah,
So I feel like there's a lot of people who are small, they post one video, randomly they get 100 subs, and then they're like, they don't take it seriously or don't like put
Yeah.
a lot of effort into it. And
like
that's-
basically, like I made a video about this, the culture war,
yeah,
and basically I'm trying to win the culture war.
yeah,
And to do that, I need to like defeat the other side, and I'm not
Yeah.
going to do that by living in my little bubble.
yeah.
Um,
And you need to show
like a good analogy. You've played Star Wars Battlefront 2, right?
yeah,
You know when the officer puts down that big shield thing
yeah,
that you can hide in?
yeah.
You can't shoot at the people outside of it, but they
That
can't
is a
shoot
good
at you,
analogy.
right?
Yeah.
But if you want to beat them, you have to go outside of the shield.
So effectively,
And-
the shield is you put down this machine, it makes a big
Yeah.
shield. When you're outside of the shield, you can't get in. You can walk through it, but you have to walk through the
Yeah.
shield.
You can't
cannot-
shoot through it.
You can't
either
even
way.
get any way into the shield. I don't think you can.
Nah.
No. So
So
effectively,
basically,
you have to
like,
go into their
what
shield.
I'm saying is, if you live in like an echo chamber, you're not going to win the culture war because
Yeah.
you're not beating the people on the other side.
Yeah.
And so what I want to do with my YouTube is, because I realize my Instagram's a bit of a bubble, but with my YouTube I want to be able to
You could
get out.
one way to make it less of a bubble is I don't know like if there's like hashtags in that sort of community, but you could do the opposite partisans hashtags.
That's a good point, actually.
I
might try that.
Or even like tag the major players in that sort of space. Like,
Yeah.
because I know nothing about your sort of community. I just know like your videos and then Valg's videos.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Like,
If I actually could do that, like, use tags that.
because then it's
would
like you're
attract
looking,
people from the
and
opposite
they're going to,
direction.
and I feel like that's a good way for them. If we're going by purely growing numbers, if they're angry and they see your post, you're like, that's wrong. They're gonna
Share it.
yeah, they're gonna either share it or like
That'll be good.
share it with a
That's
hate
all,
comment
yeah.
or like post some hate on it or post some arguments
Yeah.
on it.
Because I've seen like people in the like community I'm in, they've like been in like the news and stuff in like their countries. Like there's a YouTuber I watch who's been in like the media, like the mainstream media in his country like several times.
Yeah.
And he just like he gets more attention for it. Like
Yeah.
he gets more subscribers
Yeah.
and all that. Because
So I feel like you would convert
Yeah.
like a lot of the people watching the mainstream media, they're going to be like have this blanket view. They don't actually thought about it.
Yeah.
And that's when like you come with this radical view about X.
Yeah.
Not like, I hate the word radical, but like this like weird view. And then like they're gonna be thinking about like, what is this real?
Yeah.
And then they'll actually take notice, and it'll be something different.
Yeah.
Because like if you actually get to go on there and you get to just not have your, because I know the guy I interviewed earlier this morning, he was interviewed by the newspaper, but they completely warped his story.
Yeah.
But like if you're able to be featured on the news and actually be like interviewed live,
Yeah.
then it's like
You'll get more attention for it. And I
Yeah.
mean that's like the purpose of a debate. Like when you
Yeah.
go into a debate, like both sides know they're not going to convince the other side.
yeah, it's just you're trying to convince the viewers.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
your audience goes in not sure about what their views are, and so
Yeah.
you want to debate one person and
Yeah.
like
And figure out which
Yeah.
view you stand by.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where like if you go in and you start like yelling, oh, blimmin' feminists and
Yeah, and like doing
liberals,
derogatory shit. It's like
yeah,
that instantly
gonna-
makes your point look fucking
exactly.
stupid.
You're not going to get anyone on your side. Like you're gonna maybe hurt the person you're debating.
If that,
But
like,
yeah, but
it's
you're
just
not
going to
gonna
make
get
you
all the
look
viewers on
stupid
your side.
and
Yeah, exactly.
immature and just debate no actual points, and it's hard
Yeah.
to.
Like I see a
can't
lot of
win an
people on the
argument
right. They go and like if there's a woman they disagree with, like maybe like a feminist or something, they'll go and be like, oh, look at this like slut or whore or something like
Yeah,
that.
and just do
Um,
purely.
But like,
purely falls
who
away.
are you? That's just making your side look bad.
It's just making everyone on your side look
Yeah,
like
exactly.
just stupid, immature, and like it just looks like you're trying to cover from not being able to formulate a real
Exactly.
argument.
And I mean, like I completely disavow those kinds of people. Like,
Yeah,
if there's any of my viewers
yeah,
listening to this,
yeah.
and they go and do that sort of thing, like just unsubscribe from me, please.
Like,
I don't want to be
'cause
associated with
it's
you.
fucking stupid. It's like it doesn't help you. It doesn't help your cause. It doesn't
Yeah,
hurt the other
it's
person you're
okay
trying
to
to hurt.
disagree with people. Like, I oppose leftist values and that sort of thing, but I'm not going to go and be mean to those people because those
Yeah.
are people who've like thought about their views and everything, and
Yeah,
like they want to achieve what they view as a good thing.
Yeah.
They're not just trying to bring you down, so you don't need to go and like attack them for it. It's just
yeah,
it doesn't win. It doesn't achieve anything.
yeah. It's probably the most politically charged podcast I've ever had.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
102. No, it's good. It's good. I like because it's like without conversations like this where I wouldn't say we have perfectly matching political views. I think
nah.
possibly similar, but I literally don't even know my views. Like
Yeah, there's a lot of things I'd like to enlighten you on.
like I get that. I'm someone that's very hard to convince, but I'm also very easy to convince
Yeah.
in some ways. Like if like with things like steroids, when I first got into fitness, I was like, "Fuck, steroids are the worst. Fake naturals, fuck those cunts." But now, like, I get it, but I just don't like the dishonesty that comes along with it. Like, we were talking about Simeon Panda on the fucking podcast. That guy, do you know Simeon Panda?
Nah.
He's fucking like 3 million subs. I mean, three, probably like over, I don't know how big he's on YouTube, but he's got like 3 million Instagram followers. He sells his programs.
Right.
Lifetime natural, but he's like 250 pounds, shredded as hell.
Yeah.
He's
on
not
roids.
fucking natural.
No.
Like, he's on fucking trend. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That guy's fucking
Man, like
huge.
if you're on steroids and you're going public, at least be honest about it.
Yeah, or like, I don't mind. I literally don't even, because there's this guy, Brandon Harding. There's a lot of thought now, because he competes, and it's pretty much assumed now that if you're competing at a high level, you're on roids,
Yeah.
or you just have fucking god genetics. Like, it's kind of assumed now that, like, so that guy, like, he doesn't claim natural. He doesn't say, I'm natural. He doesn't actively say, I'm on steroids, guys. I'm on steroids, disclaimer. And I don't think you have to do that. I just don't think you should be selling shit, lying about it. Like, I'm okay with not saying anything about it and just even acknowledging it and even discreetly saying it, because he sort of discreetly said it. But he didn't go out and say, like, oh, guys, I'm on steroids now. It's like...
I feel like with, like, competitive, like, sports and that sort of thing, like, a lot of cases, like, you have to be on roids because you're going up against people on steroids.
Like, fucking Lance Armstrong. Everyone digs on that guy, but it's like, he was doing what everyone else was doing. He was just doing it better. And it's like that's almost part of the sport at that point.
Yeah. And it's like with the Olympic Games, like, I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I'm pretty sure everyone's on steroids.
Yeah, it's like, I
Because
talked
you
to
have
that
to
guy.
be,
It's like, you're the fucking genetic elite.
Yeah.
You're going for world records, and they just get better every year just because their technique improves? I don't think so.
No. And I mean, if you're
Like-
competing against people on steroids,
Yeah.
you need to be on steroids to be able to match their level.
It's just like, you cannot, like, everyone there is going to be the genetic elite, so you can't have genetics beating them. It's like, you cannot really have technique beating them because they've all done 1 billion hours.
Yeah.
Like, so there's only one other factor, creatine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, yeah.
Like, I'd never do like steroids, but I'm
Yeah.
like not.
Like, I
going
don't, like,
into
I don't think there's
competitive
any point
sports.
where it would match me. Like, maybe in like 10 years, when there's a bunch of research, it's mainstream as hell, and it's just like completely, everyone knows the actual facts about it, if that ever happens. But it's like, maybe at some point, if I want to do a fucking physique competition or some shit, but it's like, right now there's no place for me to do it, and I'd never even consider it until I'm like 18 years into lifting or some bullshit. But
I like being natural as well.
Yeah, I feel like, and I don't want to come. I just don't think the complications with it are worth it for me. But like, I feel like the actual negatives of it aren't actually as bad as people make it out to be, and the blanket statement of steroids are bad is like immature.
Yeah.
And I think it's like,
I mean, the people that just go around saying that, a lot of them probably don't like know anything about steroids.
yeah, they know like literally
I
nothing.
mean,
They
like,
just
I
think,
don't
like,
know barely anything about
Yeah,
steroids.
same.
Which is why I don't like really have an opinion on it. I
Yeah.
just don't do it.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. You like, if the people that are like uneducated about it and don't want and think everyone should and just think everyone who does steroids is the devil. It's like, if you're at the Olympics, you got to do it. If you're a fucking physique competitor, you got to do it. If you're fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, you got to do it.
Yeah.
But how come people are okay with Arnold doing it, but they're not okay with this guy who pretty much says he's on steroids, he's honest about it.
Yeah.
But then they're still like, oh, fuck you, you do steroids.
I feel like a lot of the time it's just because people feel like they have to have an opinion on something.
Yeah.
Like, people feel like it's a yes or a no. And they don't realize that it's also okay to say, I don't know. I think that's quite a big problem, like, today. Like, people feel like you have to have an opinion on something. You can't just admit that you don't have an opinion
Yeah, like
on
me
it.
with abortion. I like have, because I don't know shit about it, and I don't have a fucking uterus. Like, I don't have an opinion on it, and I just don't know anything about it. I don't know what everyone's stance is.
Yeah.
I could barely guess whether people want a pro-life or anti-life. Like, I don't know. Like, and I feel like that's something I've learned ever since I've started like putting myself out there. Is like, it's better to say I don't know than to be like, then just bullshit your way through it.
Yeah.
Because you just look stupid if you're like, okay, guys, here's my view on how to start a company when I've never started a company. It's like, it just looks stupid if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But yeah.
I mean, like, you can't be an expert on everything either.
Yeah,
So.
and it's like, I think it's better to just be like, and like, if you start just spewing shit about stuff you don't actually know, then it's like,
sounds stupid.
Yeah, and like everything you say is just going to be, no one's going to believe it.
And then
like,
you have to live in an echo chamber, otherwise you just get destroyed in a debate.
it's like, I feel like it's just kind of pointless to do shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. We should probably finish up now.
Yeah,
So,
probably.
where can people find you online? Let's go. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. all that
Yeah,
good stuff.
I've got YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook page all under the European Diaspora.
Yeah. How do you
Um,
spell? How do you spell diaspora?
Diaspora.
What would you say? Give the 1-minute summary about what your channel generally talks about. What are the main topics you cover?
Basically, so I cover European history and heritage because I want Europeans these days to like rediscover their heritage and be proud of their ancestors and who their ancestors were. Because I'm trying to like win a culture war where people are more proud of their ancestors and more traditional and that sort of thing. So my YouTube talks more about the culture and the traditional and the political side of things, whereas on my Instagram I'm focusing more on history and heritage from a more neutral point of view.
Yeah, I feel like the Instagram is very like, you're not going to offend too many people there, but you're still going to get
but
them
my
interested.
YouTube will, especially
I feel like the YouTube's
going
more
on the more I do.
Yeah, I feel like, even if you are listening to this and you don't like think, oh, I don't follow those views, like blah blah blah, I don't think I'd be interested in that kind of stuff. I would recommend you check it out. Even if you just want to go leave a hate comment, leave a constructive hate comment. If you hate his views, tell him and like leave your thought out opinion in the comments. Because then Jason might end up being like, oh fuck, I agree with those views, and then he'll change to your views. Maybe you can convince him.
Feel free to like debate me. I don't mind.
Yeah, collab. If you have a YouTube channel and you wanna have a live debate, that'd be very interesting. But I think next time we'll get you on, and I'll figure out I'll have some thought out political views by then. Maybe.
You should get someone with different political views to me on as
well. That
We
would be
can debate on
interesting. Shit. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Student Side Hustle. I would appreciate so much if you would leave a review if you'd like to hear more of what I'm saying. Then I would love if you would follow me on Instagram or check out my other social media, all linked in the show notes. And again, I would just like to say thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful evening and study hard.